Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 23 of the Fearless Woman of Faith Speaker Challenge. I hope that you have been tracking with us. You know, I've had responses today. I had a conversation today with one of the women who's actually going to be a speaker on the stage, but she said, wow, her life is being transformed day by day as she listens into these conversations and just hearing what God is doing, how he's speaking through the women and the stories of the women, just like me and you, who God has brought on a journey to bring them to a place of understanding what it means to walk as a fearless woman of faith. So if you're listening today, I know there's something for you, whether you're listening live or the replay. God has something he wants to drop into your spirit to give you a new idea, new strength, new hope, something that's going to help you keep moving forward or to take that next right step that you've been asking about. So without further ado, let me introduce you to our guest today, who is Natalie Lavelock. Now, Natalie and I met, we were doing another summit together. I think someone introduced me to her. She was on one of my other summits, and then I was on her summit, and we've just stayed connected. And I just feel like we're kindred sisters here. And Natalie is a speaker, a trainer, an online business strategist, and a program development specialist. And she's going to be sharing with us all about how you can create the life, or talk about how to take that step of faith, that leap of faith, to be able to create the life and business that you love. So welcome to the stage, Natalie.
Oh, Lisa, thank you so much. It is always such a joy to be back with you and connecting with your audience as well. And girl, I gotta say, I love those earrings. Those are beautiful.
Thank you so much. Well, they are made in Canada. They're a Canadian company. Yes, thank you so much. I'm amazed that you noticed, because it's like so a little smaller. Caught your eye.
They did, for sure.
Awesome. Well, first of all, I want to apologize for those who are waiting. We were a little late with some tech issues, but here we are and ready to just allow this conversation to flow, because I believe, you know what? God is always speaking. I don't know about you, Natalie, but it's so cool that when you are reminded that, like, God is always speaking, but am I tuning in? Am I tuning in? You know, do I have my antenna up?
Oh my goodness. So much truth in what you're saying, and even sometimes when the antenna's up, we are so busy that we're creating interference, right? We may be praying throughout the day, but we get so busy that we create that interference in receiving what God had to say about the thing that we were praying about.
Whoa. That was for someone. I can feel that.
Yeah.
That was for someone specifically. So, Natalie, I would love it for those who don't know you. This is their first introduction to you, but even if they've seen you before, I would love it if you would share a little bit about how God led you to do what you're doing today, how you stepped into this.
Yes. Well, thank you. I'd be happy to do that. You know, I was trained as a registered nurse. I have a master's degree in nursing education. And for over 15 years, almost 20 years, it was my job as the clinical nurse educator at the hospital that I worked for to design training programs, to implement training programs, and to train the doctors and the nurse at the bedside so that when things went awry, they could snap into action and do what they do best, taking care of people and saving lives. And as far back as I can remember, I've always been put in places of leadership. I've always been put in places where I'm helping the next generation, teaching and training the next generation. And there was one point in my career, it was actually kind of the turning point in my career, if you will, where I was given an opportunity to step into the next level of leadership within this organization. I was given the opportunity to move into a management position. And I was so excited because I knew this was the path that I was on. I knew the current manager was looking to me to take over when she retired. But here's the thing. It came years before I expected it to.
Mm.
And so while I was super excited about having this opportunity, at the same time I started thinking, and God really put it on my heart, Natalie, you've got 3 little boys at home. And if you take this promotion, you're going to not only work a 40-hour work week, but you're going to get called out nights, weekends,
Mhm.
holidays, and you're going to miss out on Christmas mornings, right? You're going to miss out on their first football game, their first home run, their a lot of those once in a lifetime moments that, like, you don't get those back,
Mhm.
right?
There's no do-overs there.
There's no do-overs, right? And I'm sure your audience right now, like, what are those once in a lifetime moments that maybe you're still looking forward to?
Mm.
Maybe it's a trip that you want to take, or maybe you're looking at retiring your spouse. We all have those once in a lifetime moments, and there will come a moment in life where we have to make a decision. And so for me, the decision was I going to continue my career climbing the corporate ladder, or was I going to take a leap of faith and follow God into the complete unknown, giving up all the security of everything that the world says that's good? The
Hmm.
world says steady paycheck is good. The world says health insurance is good. The world says retirement account is good. The world says, build your name, make a name for yourself, keep climbing that corporate ladder, right?
Yeah.
And God was like, are you willing to leave all that behind? Will you leave everything that the
Hmm.
world says is good and follow me into what I have planned for you? Lisa,
Wow.
that was hard.
I bet. Absolutely.
That was a big decision because, I mean, as a mom, think about that. We're not going to have income. We could lose our house. My kids are going to be hungry. They're not going to have clothes for school, right? We
But
might
probably
even lose our farm that my husband loves. And then, because Satan just can't leave it at that. He's got to twist it even further. He starts talking to me about, do you really think your marriage can handle all this?
mm,
Because
mm,
all this destruction is going to be your fault.
mm. And probably I'm guessing as a planner. Are you a planner?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I assume that with your skill set. So yeah, that's another layer of hard. And so like, whoa, I have no plan. There's no plan that I can kind of say this is what I'm gonna do.
Mhm.
That must have
Mhm.
been an extra layer of struggle.
It was. It felt like a free fall is
Mm,
what it felt like. It felt
wow.
like I was getting ready to jump off of a cliff with no parachute and free fall.
Wow.
Which really, ironically, I hope you don't mind me saying this, but in hindsight now, it's really cool because I get to look back. I actually have a book that's gonna be coming out in May that is the story of 22 authors that have taken a leap of faith
Cool.
and looked back, and they're like, "Oh, God totally built a bridge over that gap." Like, there was no free falling. God was right there building the bridge every step of the way. So, while my story felt monumental to me, my story is not uncommon.
Right. Yeah. I just think about like a free fall when we go skydiving. I've never done that, but it's like, initially we're like, oh, and then all of a sudden we kind of get the glide. It's like, oh, first is this rush, and it's like, whoa, what an adventure I'm on.
Yes, yes. No, I tend to be in that camp of what person in their right mind would jump out of a perfectly good airplane?
Me too. No, I have better things to do for enjoyment.
Yes.
Wow, wow. So obviously you took that step.
Took that leap of faith. When I left the hospital, I had some paid time off built up. They wrote me a check. It was about 3 months
Mhm.
worth of pay coming to me, and the end of that 3 months was coming pretty fast, and we had a mortgage payment that was twice what we had left, and I just thought, "What are we gonna do?" But there
Mm,
was this little voice inside of me that was like, God's not going to bring you this far just to let you fail.
right. Exactly.
And so I was like, okay, what are the skills, gifts, talents, resources that I've been given? How can I start to generate income
Yeah.
for my family? And what I realized was that there's there are people who are brilliant at what they do, but they don't know how to teach the next generation
Hmm. Hmm.
how to become them, how to replace them, how to impart and use their knowledge and wisdom to benefit themselves.
Hmm.
And so that's where my business came from. That's how my business was born. I started working with coaches and speakers who really had a heart for leaving a legacy, but
Mm.
they needed the programs and products and trainings and certifications and things like that to really be able to make that happen.
Mm. So what you do is you help them set up their business model in such a way that it's not necessarily about them, but they can pass it on and it can continue on long after they decide to leave it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And if one of the litmus tests for me
Hmm.
in working with clients is there a triple win? If there's not a triple win, it's not we don't go there. And what I
Okay.
mean by that is when I'm working with a client, is it a win for me?
Hmm.
Right? Is this someone I'm aligned with? Am I excited about the work that I'm going to be doing with them? Is it a fair exchange in terms of the work that I'm going to be doing for them and what they're investing to work with me? So is it a win for me? Is it
Yeah.
a win for them? Is the program, product, or service, is the business model, is the business itself that we're creating, setting them up to achieve their goal?
Hmm.
Because there's 100 different ways to start a business, and yet they're not all for every business owner.
So true. Yeah.
And so we want to make sure that what we're setting it up sets you up to live a life that you love, not to have this business that's heavy on your back and you're just like trudging through every day
Mhm.
trying to make it.
Yeah.
And then the third thing is it a win for your clients? Is
Mm.
what we're creating going to help your clients achieve the goals that they're looking for in their life too? So we've got to have that triple win.
That's so good. I love that because then you're kind of looking at the whole picture and from that angle creating the business that is going to serve them. So what I hear you saying is building a business even around your own lifestyle, your own passions, at the same time meeting the needs of the people you're meant to reach, serving them. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So, for example, one of the things that I enjoy is I enjoy traveling. Now, it's mainly domestic because of the season that I'm in right now. And when I'm traveling and exploring new places and doing new things, I'm at my peak, right? I'm fully enjoying what I'm doing. And so one of the things that I do with my clients is I build in retreats where we
Mm.
can go to beautiful locations and have experiences where I'm at my peak, they're at their peak, and God just creates beautiful things in those spaces.
That's so cool. I love that. So it's not necessarily what I just heard you saying is that you said because you like to travel, you incorporate
Mhm,
that into your business model in
mhm.
serving your clients, fulfilling what you do with your clients so that i- in addition to probably, having times where you travel on your own, your family, but what you said, is that right? Is that what I heard you
Yeah,
say?
yeah,
That is
yeah.
cool. Why
So
not?
we need to, if we're going to have a life we love, we get to incorporate things that we love into our
Mm,
business and into our business and lifestyle. And so, maybe travel's not your thing, but whatever your or whatever your thing is,
yes.
look at how you can bring more of that into your life and into your business because it's just going to light you up and make you enjoy your business even more.
That's so good. So, what are some of the things that hold women back from actually taking that leap of faith? It's like stepping into an arena where they know they're not fulfilled or they know there's something more, but they just don't know where to, like, they just don't know where to start.
First, it all boils down to one thing: fear. When you get down to the root of it, it always comes down to fear. Fear that I'm not going to make enough money. Fear
Mhm.
that somebody's not going to like me. Fear that this isn't going to work. Fear that I'm going to be seen or that I won't be seen or
Yeah.
whatever it is. It almost always comes back down to that root of fear.
Mhm.
And I know for me, when I was trying to make that decision, whether I was going to take the promotion or not, I had to come to the place where, okay, even if we lose our house, even if we lose our home, even if we lose our farm, even if we have to struggle financially and,
Mhm.
go to the food bank to provide for our kids, even if all of those things happen, is it worth it? Will
Mm.
I follow God in what I feel like He's calling me to, even if the worst case scenario I can imagine happens?
Mm.
And I got to the place where I was like, yes, I'll follow God no matter what. And then once I got to that place, this is funny. Once I got to that place, immediately, this little thought bubbled up that said, you're in the arms of your creator. What is safer
Exactly.
than being in the arms of the God who created you?
It's so good. It's so good. Yeah, just as you were saying that, it's like, when you make that resolve, okay, I'm going to go all in. I'm going to do everything I can to fulfill the call of God in my life, even if, and I think it's important to actually identify what is the worst thing that could happen here,
Mhm.
because now you're aware of it. But I think what kicks in is that because you have that assurance now, there's this supernatural empowerment to move more intentionally into that, so that that isn't the outcome.
Yes, yes. And I also want to say this because not everybody has this belief and not everybody builds their business this way. Supernatural empowerment does not supersede stupidity.
Right.
Okay?
Exactly. Good point. I'm glad you brought that out. Tell me
So
more. Tell me
for
more.
for me, even though I took that leap of faith and I walked away from that career and everything like that, I knew that I still had to make money somehow. And I knew that it's hard to build a business when you're in a place of desperation.
So true.
And so what I sought out in the healthcare world, we call it PRN, which just
Mhm.
means as needed. I
Yeah.
sought out some as needed work. So I might work 1 day a week or a couple days a month or something like that. I found a way to bring in just enough income that we weren't in a place of panic.
Yeah.
And I continued to do that until so everything I made in my business, because we weren't in a panic, everything I made in my business, I reinvested in the business
Mhm.
until the business could replace
That's good.
that part-time PRN work. And
Yeah.
so I know, there's a movement to go all in and to just like ditch the day job and the great resignation and all of that kind of stuff.
I haven't heard those terms, but it sounds like it probably is.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that works great for some people, and for other people it doesn't.
Yeah.
And so I just want to say that it's okay if you realize that you need that little bit of safety net as you're building your business. It doesn't have to be an all or nothing type of situation.
Absolutely. That's wisdom, whether it be something that you just have to do just to get that, pay your bills. That is wisdom. We definitely want to be responsible. So I'm so glad you brought that out, because there's kind of a time and a place, a season, right? To
Right.
and steps in the transition. But I think making that decision that you made, okay, God, I'm going to believe you, didn't mean that, okay, God, where's the money? It's like, okay, what's the first thing I need to do? I need to have something that's going to be paying the bills while I am walking in this direction.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. Yes.
That's so good. So good. So, what are some of the other things that you find that women need in order for them to really walk in or create the business that they love and life that they love?
Mhm. There's a process that I take my clients through. It's called the divine spark.
Mm.
And the divine spark, if you Google that, you Google it, go to YouTube. Don't Google it, but go to YouTube and search for the spark.
Mm.
There's a YouTube out there where scientists have actually captured at the moment of conception,
Yes.
there's a spark that happens.
Yeah.
And so my belief is that in that moment when that spark happens, that's where God downloads everything that he's
Mm.
calling us to be. And
Mm.
so all of our gifts, our talents, our skills, our abilities, there's a pre-wiring, almost like a predestination for those types of things to be developed in us throughout our lifetime. And
Mm.
so when we go through the spark, then that helps you to see how God has made you and what your most profitable business venture could be.
Mm.
So I think that that really helps get
Mm.
the ball rolling. And then I always talk about having business with soul. Business is all about having soul, and soul is SOL, not SOUL. Sales, offers, and leads.
There you go. Yeah.
Sales, offers, and leads. If you got those sales, offers, and leads dialed in, you are good to go.
Yeah, because otherwise it's not a business, right? Because
No.
you can do what you love and it not make any money.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
is how do you turn that into something that is going to fulfill your calling and yet finance your dreams, you know?
Yes.
Uh,
And to do it in a way that aligns with your goals, aligns with your values, and aligns with your calling, and that doesn't feel heavy, yucky, spammy. I think, especially as women,
mhm.
we have a way of doing business that's a little bit different than the way men do business. And I have a few male mentors in my life, and so I can see that distinction.
Yes.
And I just think that it's good for us to know we can learn from the men, and it's okay that we do business differently.
Yes. So good. Yes. Yes, being able to identify that and align with, yeah, because there's been times definitely where I was being mentored by someone and implementing things and all good ideas, and you learn in the way, but at the same time, you have to listen. You have to listen and say, okay,
Mhm.
something feels out of alignment with who I am and how people know me or how I want to be known, how I know that God has, wired me. And so we have to pay attention to that so that we can be continually fine tuning those nuances in
Yes.
order, right? And sometimes it's taking those things and creating something proprietary because you're gleaning. It's a gleaning. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. We can learn from other people, but it's like, okay, how much of this do I need is for me and how much is to put aside, right?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. And
That's
we're all a part of the body, right? So my expertise is in training programs and developing those. Someone else's expertise is in marketing. Someone else's expertise is in sales. And when we're all working together, it works,
so true. Yeah.
you know?
In Ephesians, it talks about that
Yeah.
as the body working together. I remember when this became a revelation to me years ago, and it talks about the different parts of the body working. It says when each person does its part, it causes the other parts to grow. And the reverse is also true.
Yeah.
Is if you're not doing your part, we're actually withholding other people from growing because they need what we have as we need what they have.
Withholding, or worse yet, stunting.
Stunting.
And Lisa, can I just lay it
Go
on the
for
line?
it.
Can I
Go
just
for
lay it
it.
on the line?
Go for it.
Ooh, this is gonna make some people mad. Sometimes Christians are the worst at tearing down other believers, at tearing down people who are not believers. Like, we got our way and we're going to tell you and we're going to,
Yeah.
whatever. But we're tearing one another down rather than lifting each other up. And so it's similar to like my eye being like, oh, heart, you're like so down there and I'm up here and I'm right because I see everything.
Yeah.
I don't even like,
Exactly.
right? it it we can't create this hierarchy. Like,
Yes.
there are just people out there who feel like their way is the right way. There is no other way.
Mhm.
And yet, you know what? Someone was telling me this the other day, and I really found it beautiful the way they were saying it. So, as believers, we all believe in there's one way to heaven, right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. There is Baptist and Methodist and Lutheran and whatever. And rather than it being a point of contention, well, I'm Baptist and you're Lutheran and we can't do this and da 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 da. There's beauty in the fact that God knows us and God knows how he created each of us. And God's given a way, a style
Mhm.
of coming to him that resonates within each of us.
So true.
And so we all get to hear the beauty of who God is and Jesus's message, and we all have that opportunity to find our salvation through him because there are different ways of hearing that message. Now,
So
let me tie this back into business, right?
yes.
Okay. So, how many business coaches out there are there? How many speaker trainers are out there?
Mhm.
We're never in competition with one another.
No.
We never have to put someone else down to make ourselves look better, stronger, or whatever, because we have a message that God has put in our hearts that only we can say and only the way he's taught us to say it. And that's the way that someone needs to receive it. So you can go to multiple different coaches, you can go to multiple different trainers, and you're going to find the one that resonates with your spirit, that's doing it the way you want to do it, and that's where you're going to get your results.
That's so true. Yeah, it's so true. And that's so important because sometimes there's this drawing on the anointing within us that only someone else can bring out because of
Mhm.
their
Mhm.
style
Mhm.
and their anointing, right?
Yes. Yes.
This is a great conversation because I think a lot of women do get tripped up in this comparison thing or trying to do things that other people are doing because they're successful. So this must be the right way. And as I said, we can learn from one another, but it's so important to own our uniqueness and
Yes.
own,
And to be able to find those people who can work with us around that, who aren't so ingrained in their method and the way they do it, and it can only be done that way, when you can see that it's not working for your client.
Mhm.
We're not creating cookie cutter images of
Right.
ourselves, right? We have to be able to see how God has crafted our clients and be able to work with them to help them blossom into who God's created them to be.
So good. Such a great conversation. So Natalie, in this area of stepping into or creating that business and life that you love, what are some of the things or what are some foundational things maybe that you had to develop or establish or God had to do in you in order for you to fearlessly take that leap of faith?
Mm. And I know this is Fearless Women of Faith, and that is the thing for me. This has been a journey of God just really teaching me how to handle fear, how to walk
Mhm.
in the face of fear. What does fear look like? How does it show up? And how can we continue to move forward in the face of fear? So for me, that has been absolutely foundational to my work and the work that I do with women. We do transformational events as part of my community because I want them to be able to recognize the things that are holding them back, keeping them playing small, not showing up as their true authentic self.
Yeah. That's good.
And we need to learn to break through that. And we need to learn it's okay to stand in the power and the confidence of who we've been created to be, even if someone else doesn't like that.
Amen. That is huge right there. Because we're not meant to appeal to everyone. And we just need to say right now, stop trying to appeal to everyone. Stop it. Make a decision today. Say, no, I'm not here to please everyone.
We're not. We are here because we are warriors for the kingdom. Exactly. And we need to put that armor on and we need to go and do battle. Because when you are a warrior, you don't get to back down. You don't get to walk away. You go into that battle despite the fear, despite you go where other people are not willing to go because you serve a higher purpose.
Exactly. So good.
And you are done when that purpose has been fulfilled.
Wow. Wow. And that's why when we get, knocked down or we stumble, we're like, okay, when we want to give up, but there's this thing inside of us saying, no, I can't. It's because we need to fulfill that purpose and we know it.
Yes. And that's why we need other women warriors around us too.
So good. So good.
You help me with this. If I slip on it, though one may be defeated, two.
One sends 1,000. Is that the one sends 1,000?
The one may be defeated. Two can defend themselves.
I don't know that wording. I'm going to look it up.
Two can defend themselves. And a cord of 3 strands is not easily broken.
Right.
So when we have each other's back, we are not easily defeated. Ladies, we have got to rally together. We cannot fight one another. We need to be fighting for the kingdom.
Yeah. So the Ecclesiastes 4:10 says, if either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls and there's no one there to help them. Is that the one?
I don't know if that's the one exactly, but it's definitely supportive of the first one.
And the other one is I'm thinking about as is like, one could put 1,000 to flight, two could put 10,000. There's an exponential power that happens when we link arms and we connect in unity with each other, supporting each other, is that we can actually go further and faster and accomplish much more than by ourselves.
Yes. And, I hear pastors all the time talking about if it says something once in the Bible, it's important. If it says it again and again, it's really important. And we've just talked about 3, maybe even 4 different verses in the Bible talking about we need to be together. We are meant to operate and to do this world and together.
It's so good. It's so good. Well, we're going to close up our session here today, but Natalie, any last words that you want to leave with our listeners before I let you go? I'm going to post Natalie's website and her link underneath this video. But if you want to find out more about Natalie, you can go to her website, which is natalielavelock.com. But I will also post a link down below for you to grab a free resource she has that is about something past the laptop. Help me out. Beyond the laptop.
The free resource is Life Beyond the Laptop. It's all about designing a business that gives you a life rather than your life sucking or your business sucking the life out of you. And Lisa, you asked me to share one final word. My final word for you would be, you are a lifeline to someone in need. Your business, the programs, the products, the resources that you have, they are that lifeline. And so whatever you're fearing in your life, don't back down. Keep pressing forward because you are a fearless woman of faith, and it is time for you to step up to take that leap of faith and to be that lifeline for those who are needing you the most.
That's so good. That's so good. Thank you so much, Natalie. I'm
You
sure
are
we
very
will.
welcome.
Yes, I'm sure we will connect again. We'll link arms again in the future, but I appreciate you
Always.
so much. And I
Yes.
appreciate,
Mwah.
see you.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Bye-bye.
So I would love you to even to have that declaration right now. Say, I am a fearless woman of faith. You know, Natalie is a great example of where she talked about overcoming the fears, but yet there was a call that was bigger, that she knew that she had to rise up to a level of faith, trusting God. And we've heard this message over and over and over is you cannot try to figure it all out. One of my favorite verses is one of my signature, like my life verses actually, is Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Do not lean on your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. Do not lean on your own understanding. Trust in him. Trust in him. He's calling us to trust in him at a level that maybe we've never had to trust him before, because you've never had to do what you're about to do, because you're a pioneer, or you're stepping into a new arena, because God is saying, okay, now you're ready. Now you're ready to come to another level. And in that place, you need to trust God. And so whatever you need to do, and I love the wisdom that Natalie shared about not doing it stupidly, but really walking it out in wisdom and also with a community. So if you are needing a community, let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in a place where you feel frustrated with the lack of results in your life? Maybe you're like, you're trying. Let me know in the chat. It's like, yes, I'm frustrated. Sometimes I can't see. Well, maybe things weren't happening as quickly or as fast as you wanted them to. Sometimes we get frustrated with our results, right? So let me ask you a question. Would you expect a tree to grow overnight? If you planted a seed, would you expect that tree to grow overnight? No. Only God knows how big that tree will get. Only God knows its true potential. But even from a spiritual point of view, as an example, if your life is like a tree and he's planted seeds of vision and all these things in you, he knows what he is growing here in you. And as you lean into that, but the problem is a tree lives in the physical realm and it's bound by space and time and matter. It has to go through this process of transforming itself from the seed to a tree. It has to cease being a seed at some point and begin to be a tree. Now, it might be limited by its surroundings. The space could actually stunt the growth of that tree. Time, it might be limited by the time. It might be limited by the nutrients, the matter, the environment. It might be limited by the nutrients it can receive, what's being poured into it, the water it gets, the sunlight it'll receive. Trees take time to grow. You agree? Trees need to be in the right environment. They need good nutrients to reach their full potential. Otherwise, they get stunted or they die. Well, the same thing is we often get upset because we think, oh, things are not happening as fast as I want. Let me know in the comments if anyone, if you've gone to college or university, a student, and you've maybe taken, 1, 2, 3 years of training. Say, yes, I have. Well, let's do the math on this. So probably in today's economy, there's like a 20,000 bill or 10 to 20,000 bill on a 1 year of university. That includes lodging, everything like that, right? If you multiply that by 4 or 5 years, that's like $100,000 that you spend or invest in your education as a prerequisite. And if you're going to be a doctor or a lawyer, then you tack on a few more years, 8 years for a lawyer, or sorry, a doctor. Do you get upset with the school system for taking your money and not giving you results right away? Not giving you income right away? No, because you know you're in a process of development, of learning. Now, I'm not telling you it's going to take 4 years or 8 years. It doesn't have to. But what I want to say is it's okay to go on a journey to become who God has called you to become the fearless woman of faith, to become the fearless speaker that God has called you to be. It's okay to go on a journey and to embrace it. But when you get frustrated, put your eyes back on, okay, what is God doing in me? How am I growing in this moment? What skills am I developing? What is the process God is working in me? Is he teaching me how to trust him? Is he teaching me how to be patient? Is he teaching me how to be coachable? What is he teaching me? And what are the skills I need to embrace and things that I need to learn in order to become who he's called me to be? You might see yourself standing on stages speaking to tens of thousands of people. Great. What do you need to do today to embrace the process to become that speaker? Just like trees, people take time to grow. You and I need to be in the right environment, have the right nutrients, the right input into our life in order to reach our full potential. Proverbs 27:17 says, iron sharpens iron, and one man or woman sharpens another. There is this effect of being in relationship and community with people who are of like mind, that are going in the same direction, maybe a different path, but have a dream that they're working towards, and they are of a like mind, and they're there working with us in an environment that's positive, that's empowering. So if you want to step into your dream in a much bigger way, you need to get in the room with people who are doing the thing, who are doing what you want to do, but also who are going to celebrate you, not just tolerate you, but celebrate you. I don't know about you, but I've been in rooms where I'm just tolerated. Do you know what I'm talking about? Who knows what I'm talking about? We need to be celebrated. And so if you are looking for a community like that, I want to invite you to join me. And if you want to step into becoming the speaker that you know you're called to, but you just don't know what to do, I shared with you earlier in the week that we are launching a Radiant Speaker Academy inside the Girl Power Alliance, a community of like-minded women who are cheering each other on, celebrating, but who are focused on advancing the kingdom. And you have an opportunity, if you want to be a speaker that not only just communicates words, but you want to transform lives. You want to impact people's lives, and you want to do it with confidence, with clarity, and with impact. I want to invite you to register for the Radiant Speaker Academy, which is under the umbrella of the Girl Power Alliance VIP membership. And if you've got people who've invited you here today, reach back out to them if they're part of the community, and to let you know how. This is a training that I am partnering with the founders to offer to the community as a way to help women, to empower women to step into their calling, to develop skills that are going to help you pay your bills. Did you know that speaking is the highest paid skill in the world? Communication, developing your communication skills, no matter what industry you're in. So here you will get opportunity to be trained by 3 professionals who have over 60 years experience in speaker training. In speaking experience. So an opportunity for you to up-level your skills, your reach, and your influence. If you know that this is something that you are wanting to do, not just wanting, but you know God is calling you to do it. And you know what? I need to learn how to become more confident as a speaker, fearless as a speaker, so that I can fulfill the call of God in my life. Then I want to invite you to enroll in the Radiant Speaker Academy. The registration closes on February 28th. And if you are interested, put RSA down below and I'll reach back out to you. What it includes is 9 weeks of live virtual training, and then the opportunity to become certified beyond that in a in-person event where you get coached on the spot. You'll be able to give your Kim 10. So think of it TED Talk, short but better than TED Talk because it's kingdom. It's all done with the kingdom focus in terms of a faith-based community. It doesn't mean you have to give a message that is laden with scripture. It just means there is a shared value system among the people who are learning. And the Kim 10 is about your kingdom impact message in 10 minutes. It's a revolutionary framework that we've developed to empower you to deliver a message that's remembered well beyond the stage. You're also going to get a professional video of you speaking on the stage to help get you booked. You can use as a marketing tool. That in itself is worth like thousands of dollars. To enroll in this program by itself without being a part of the Girl Power Alliance is a $4,500 investment, and that's right on their website. You can pay that, but you don't have to, because they are making it available for you to engage in this training under the VIP membership within Girl Power Alliance. That includes not only 200 plus trainings on marriage, on parenting, on mindset, on starting a faith-based business, on growing your business, on prophetic sales, on marketplace ministry, but you also have the opportunity to engage in a leadership development program that is ICF accredited. You can become an ICF accredited coach, biblical life and leadership coach, and a certified radiant speaker. You also have group coaching calls. It's just amazing, actually, the value that is in this program. You also get a whole speaker series on how to show up with confidence on camera. Do you want to do more online speaking and video and podcasting or just lives? You get a whole training on that. You also get a train on the confident speaker, building your influence. Really, and it's growing. Every month there's new courses being added to this portal. And right now it's over $30,000 just in the training alone. But you can get enrolled today by getting started for $399 as your initial payment, your initial investment, and then 30 days later, $149.99, and on continuing on every month as long as you maintain your membership. There's no contracts, no locked in thing that you have to stay for a year, but it is, once you experience it, you will see the value is way beyond what the investment is. It's so much more return on your investment. So if you know that God is calling you to step into whatever sphere of influence you are right now, you know you need to learn to gain a bit of confidence. You need to build your confidence. You need to gain a little bit of clarity and ability to communicate what you know and what God has called you to. This training is the very best place to start. You will never find the caliber of training and the value that you get in this training, along with the VIP membership, any other place. I guarantee it. So if you are saying, yes, Lisa, I want to get engaged, the training starts March 7th, but the registration for it ends February 28th. So in addition, for those who do register before February 28th, you're also going to get a copy. Oh, I didn't show you that. Let me add that. Show you a copy of my best-selling book. I'm actually going to be in the midst of right here, Speak with Impact, 52 speaking tips for women to build confidence, clarity, and influence. You're going to get a physical copy of that will help you implement tools every week to improve your communication. So, ladies, that's it for today. I hope that you found value in today's session with our guest speaker, Natalie Lavelock, who has become a dear friend. And I'd love it if you'd put in the comments below, what is something God has been speaking to you these past 23 days, or how many sessions you've tuned into? Is there an overriding theme other than becoming fearless, or how to become fearless? Is there something that God has been dropping into your spirit, confirming over and over. It's like, or something that he's confirmed to you, that he spoke to you. And through these sessions, God is just saying, yes, you are hearing from me. Go do it. I would love to know that, because that's what I'm here to do, is to serve you, help you become who God has called you to be by offering the gifts and the things that God has given me and to pass on to you. Because I know that you're called to be fearless. I know if God could take me from being someone who is tormented by fear to a place where I truly can say I am fearless in my pursuit of the things that God has called me to, then I know he can do it for you. And it's not because I'm so great. I'm not. It's because he's great and he lives inside of us. And he empowers us with his word, his spirit, the anointing that he gives us. And as we trust him, we learn how to trust him. He will work within us to bring about the strength we need, all the things we need. We already have access to it. We just need to learn how to receive it and to walk in it. So thank you for being with me today. I enjoy being with you. And today, say, God, what do you want me to do today to walk as a fearless woman of faith? What is one thing that I can do today to become that fearless woman of faith that you're calling me to? And then do it. We'll see you tomorrow.